July 6th, 2023. I'm so excited that we are in the land of the living, of course. It could have been another way, but the man upstairs has something else planned for us today. We are live on Facebook. We are live on the YouTube channel, same name of the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell somebody that we are live right now. We are live on Twitch, Twitter. Find us somewhere, because believe me, we are there. Again, like I said, my guest is so special and dear to me. I have some of the dopest guests all the time. Every time I come on, I can say that because it's my show. I can say whatever I want. Again, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny, proven over and over again since I started this almost 3 years ago. So tonight is very special to me. Not only do I get a bonus, but I am with my girl again, TT from the D. And since I last talked to her and seen her, she still haven't sit still yet. She's doing chronicles from the airport, going all around the United States. Still got a full-time job. Still doing her thing with the speaking and helping others and all this stuff. And I'm like, girl, how you do it? We gonna find out tonight. Because not only that, but the bonus is her husband is in the building tonight. Mr. Swifty from Detroit. Is in the building. Well, he not in the building. He in his car. But you know what we mean. So let's get this party started. Welcome, you guys. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Salute you.
For having me.
Oh, that's so special. I don't know what to do with myself. Don't mind me. You already know I'm about to be silly. You know it.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So I was watching you guys minister not too long ago on your own show about marriage. And I was like, well, I haven't had a couple in a while. So guess what? Bing, bing, bing. You guys are it. So tonight we're going to get into some marriage tips. We're going to get into really how to, in your opinion, of course, in your own, building the empire that you guys have. True partnership, being your biggest supporter to one another, and understanding what a village actually looks like for you guys, and of course having a balanced life, because of course if y'all ain't happy, nobody else in the house gonna be happy. Understood?
Agreed.
That means all the behind the scenes stuff that most of us either see or don't see. That's the time for you guys to reconnect and minister to each other. Understood? Those times where you have to just step away from everything that you do to make sure that you guys are good in order for you to continue to move forward. So, first off, how long have you guys been married?
Ladies first. You ain't hear me say ladies.
Oh, you don't know?
I'll take it. We've been married for 11 years.
I said, please don't get in trouble on my show. Please don't do that.
Nah, I guess she missed when I said ladies first.
I heard it. I don't think she heard it, but
yeah, I don't think she heard it either.
No.
So the next time I get on the podcast, I have a little steak on my eye, like, yeah. So what happened was,
Listen.
No, but we've been married for 11 strong years.
I'm glad you said strong. Praise the Lord. Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
So how long were you guys, quote unquote, dating before you guys got married?
We were dating for about a good 8 years, seven to 8 years. We became friends. We were really, really, really good friends first. It's not like we actually connected and started off with that vibe. We started off as friends, and then the friendship grew from there. Yeah.
That's very important. So let me ask this
Very
question.
important.
Both of y'all, since you stated that you guys were friends before you guys got married, when did you know that you wanted to take your friendship to a whole nother level?
I think for me, I can say there was a connection I had with Swifty. Just I had never even spoken to him. I just kept seeing him in passing. And so our gifts brought us together, to be honest. Our gifts brought us together. We met on a movie set. Shout out to Work Life Entertainment, 7 Days on 7 Mile. That's how we met. I got lost in his presence, if I could say that. We had just finished sound check, and D12 had took the stage to do sound check, and my partners, they swore they had been calling me for about 5 minutes. And I was at the lip of the stage just watching them. Like, you know, I knew who everybody was, but I confused, as most people do in today's time, which is so funny. It was like when you don't really know who is who. I knew who Proof was. I knew who Bizarre was. I knew who Tim was, of course. But it was, I knew who Con Artist was. But I didn't know which one was Conniva, which one was Swifty. I didn't know that. And so I remember to this day, he had on these gray sweatpants, a white tee, as he loves to wear, still to this day. And so he had a Smurf-like type of hat on, and he had this diamond in his ear, and they were up there, and I really didn't see anything, but I was focused like past him. It was just like to the earring, and like that was like mesmerizing to me because I couldn't understand what was drawing me his way. Like I wasn't looking at him. But it was just like, it's like having tunnel vision, but you don't know what you're looking at because you don't really see nothing. And so later, after we connected on a movie set, he ended up we didn't know again which member who was going to join 7 Days on 7 Mile. We just knew it was somebody from D12. And I wondered in my head, is it the guy? I wonder if it's the bald-headed guy. And so when he walked through the door, it was just like, oh man, wow, okay. But still, again, you know, it was just like, at that time, I had just got out of a relationship. At that time, Swifty was married at that time to his ex-wife. And so he came on, he befriended everybody. Swifty was so down to earth, so cool. And we just had we had like a chemistry. And it kind of assigned me to him as one of the acting people, because we improv'd a lot, testing our skills, sharpening our iron as actors. And so shout out to Boss Man. He was like, TT, I want you to work with Swifty. I want Vitra to work with Swifty. He put an elite team. And it's funny, the elite team stayed together for years. We're still friends in today's time.
Yeah. And what's so crazy about that is, you know, the time that when she said she saw me, she was dancing for a group. What was the name of the group?
Alley Life. Shout out to Alley Life.
Big shout out to Alley Life. They were performing on stage, and I had the same tunnel vision that she had, and I didn't know why. Because when she, you know, when she introduced herself, and we was at the Work Life doing the improv, I automatically knew who she was, because when I was on the balcony at that night, I actually watched her, and I had tunnel vision, and I didn't know why I was drawn to her when I was standing on that balcony. And when I saw her, I automatically knew that was her out of everybody that was on that stage. So God just got a way of doing things that you may not even understand at first, but over time he'll bring it to your remembrance to learn to say, this is what it was. You were drawn to her, and I didn't know at the time, but I remembered it vividly of what was going on. But when I seen her, it was just like, okay, this is what it was. I was drawn to her. You know what I'm saying? And we became friends, and that's what it was.
Wait, Corey just put in here Swifty played Jesus in Perilous Times.
Corey, what's up, Corey? That's Sam.
Hey, I sure did play Jesus in Peerless Times. Big shout out to TJ Henfield, man.
Yes.
He recruited us. Like I said, you know, me and Miss TT from the D doing our acting thing, and you know, she was already connected with TJ. So he suggested that I came to play Jesus. So we went all the way to Alabama, and I played Jesus Christ. And it was a fun experience. Yep, I sure did.
Shout out to Corey, of course.
What up, though, Corey?
Chiming in, of course. Please share the broadcast. Tell somebody we on. Corey, I actually met years ago, seeing him perform at Perilous Times, and didn't realize it years later. He's the one that told me to audition for this last one. So shout out to Corey. Always beat my heart right there.
Yeah, big shout out to Corey, man. Funny, talented dude.
Yes, he is.
Actually went to the studio with us and sung a song on one of my sung a chorus for one of my songs on one of my albums years and years ago. So we done did some things. Big shout out to you, Corey.
Yeah, definitely. Corey is so underrated. Oh, the man is so talented. I mean, he's touring with Zap and seeing everybody and the mama right now.
Yeah.
With lighting and all of this stuff and singing, comedy, like it just don't make no sense. But back to you guys.
Yeah.
So let's dig in even more into you guys. I have the connection with TT. Unfortunately for me, I didn't know who D12 was because I wasn't into rap. So I'm like, oh, she's married to, okay, okay, great. I don't know. So for those who don't know who D12 is, can you explain who D12 is?
Okay, D12. I'm a part of a rap group, D12. We actually started off in the late 90s. It was actually 12 of us when we first started. We met at this open mic called the Hip Hop Shop, owned by a clothing designer named Maurice Malone, and it was on West 7 Mile in Greenfield. So every Saturday, all the elite MCs from the four corners of Detroit used to go to this place every Saturday and rap for 3 hours every Saturday for years. So that's how we met, and that's how we, you know, got to know each other. So Proof, rest in peace, he decided to formulate a group and call it D12. You know, we wanted to mimic the Wu-Tang Clan because they was like the biggest group at that time. It was 12 members. Each member fell off. It left with 6. So I was a part of another group at the time called the Rabies. We disbanded, and one of the members of D12 thought it would be a good idea that I got into the group. So I entered the group in the late 90s, and we all made a pact that whoever gets signed first will come back and get everybody else. Eminem is a part of the group as well. So he's the one who got signed with Dr. Dre first. So when Eminem went to LA to get signed, he came back and signed D12 to his label. We dropped the album in 2001, and we dropped another album in 2004, and they did pretty good. God bless the albums that do pretty well worldwide. And then a few years later, Big Proof, who actually founded the group, got murdered, and then we kind of disbanded from there. Everybody wanted to do their own things and do solo acts and, you know, whatever. So every now and then we'll still tour if they want us to tour, and we got solo albums, and we still do our own thing individually. But that's the origin of the group D12. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have a friend, I think his rap name is Mud.
Yeah, big shout out to Mud.
Him and I grew up in church together.
Okay.
We went to Osborne together as well. So I'm familiar with the shop.
Five Elements.
Yes, absolutely. So he would be so happy. And he used to talk about Proof and all of that. But again, I wasn't into rap. So I was kind of hearing, but not hearing because that wasn't my thing. But I'm glad you explained to the people who D12 is. Now we're going to get back into the home life that you guys started. As we can see that God had already put that light on you guys that this was your rib and she fits right into the rib cage and take off from there. So was it immediately where you guys started having children, or was it no, let's just blend this together?
We do have a blended family. Between the two of us, we have one daughter, we have 3 sons. And recently we have a grandbaby. We have a granddaughter. She's out here. But we share a 13-year-old Cody. And yeah, he's 13. So our friendship catapulted us into a relationship. It was the foundation in which we built upon. Yeah. And it's like, I know that's my husband, but that's my homie. You know what I mean? And my girls, they used to crack jokes because I would talk to him, and I still to this day do. Like, I will kick it with him like that's my homeboy, like my homeboy. And sometimes I'll tell him things that maybe girls be like, I can't believe you told him. Why would you tell him something like that? He a man like that. I'm like, it don't matter. But I would sit back like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I don't know, but I'm so comfortable talking to him. And he might say, okay, TT, TMI. I'm like, okay, but I was just saying, it's the comfortability. The familiar spirit is a kind one. And we if we had met earlier in life, we probably would have had way more children, but together. But God blessed us to have the children we had, a blended family, and then the child that we do share.
And I think the friendship is the basis. Is what causes everything to go strong. I mean, the love too, but the friendship. That's why I always encourage people to build a friendship, because when you have that strong friendship, you're not looking outside of the relationship to share important things. You're going to share with who you with, because you have that friendship. That you have that friendship. So like, a lot of people might be in relationships, and then they say, okay, well, I'm in a relationship with you, but my best friend live across town, and you might be able to kick it with your best friend about something that you might not be able to kick it with your spouse about, because you feel a little bit more comfortable because that's your homie, or you don't want to feel judged or embarrassed or whatever. But when you're in a relationship and have that friendship, you can actually walk up and say, hey, honey, let me talk to you as a friend right now. Or I'm talking to you as a husband. You can kind of switch back and forth and talk on different levels. And I think that's one of the reasons why relationships are strong, because they done built that friend factor. And I appreciate that about Miss TT from the D, that, she's my homie as well as my wife. Yeah.
I almost had to get a box of tissue just now.
You know what? Don't do that. I can't. She's funny. I swear. She's funny. Okay, go ahead, Sunshine.
Do you hear the harps in the background? Y'all hear?
I ain't messing with you today. I see.
And the lovebirds. I mean, you don't hear it? Y'all don't hear that?
We do be in our own world sometimes, though. People be like, because we have a good time. Yeah, like he said, and when I go out and I speak to other people, like when we do public engagements, or like, people don't know this, I'm a marriage ministry leader at our church, and so we haven't been active since COVID manifested. We tried to hold on to it, but it was hard because we missed being in person. We used to do a lot of things together. I'm gonna share this piece. It's not a poem, so don't think I'm gonna do a poem. But there was something, a beautiful woman who's gone on to heaven, Virginia Ross. She said, she used to say to her husband, and she was a part of our marriage ministry group. She used to tell her husband that nothing will get between us but air and death. And they were the oldest by age couple in the marriage ministry group, but so down to earth, loved them. And I always thought about that. And when she passed away, that stayed with me so long. Like I just constantly think about it. We called her Ginger. But for me, I would tell Swifty, and I would tell people even when we out, like I said, talking in our groups, I would say things like, sometimes when you have that friendship, you have to say, okay, I'm not talking to you as your wife. I'm talking to you as your homie. I'm not talking to you as your homie. I'm talking to you as your wife, because there's a shift. Sometimes I think, and I say that only because in the conversations I've had with different married couples or couples who have been engaged or been in a long-term relationship, I've heard more often than not that I can't talk to him like that. You know what I'm saying? Or I can't talk to her like that. You know what I'm saying? That's my wife. Like, or, like, yeah, that's my homie, that's my homegirl. They don't have that other side of it. And I think that you have to have both for it to balance out. Nothing's perfect. As we always say, you're going to have your disagreements. There is no perfect marriage. It takes work. It takes desire from both of you. I would say it's a two-way street. Whatever he does for me, I'll do for him, and vice versa. It's not I used to think, even before we got married, we lived together for several years. And I used to think like, we're going to go 50-50 because I'm so independent. And my husband is crazy. My husband is a different type of man. And so he's kind, but he's different. He's unique in a certain way. How often do you hear a man tell you, like, listen, I know you're strong and hey, I ain't never gonna stand in your way. I'm never gonna block your son, but let me be your husband. It's okay to let me be your husband. Like, I'm not, I could do it. As you said earlier, Sunshine, I am all over the place. I do a whole lot. However, I feel like God has blessed me with so many gifts and skill sets that I'm supposed to use them. It's a part of my purpose. And sometimes he'll see me and he'll say, TT, do you need me to do anything to lessen your load? I'm like, no, I got it. Because in return, I'm thinking, well, hell, you carry a lot your damn self. How I'm about to ask you, I know you got 2 backpacks on, but you think you could drag this bag? It's like, wait. So, but sometimes I have to stop and say, but yeah. And he's like, okay. And he does it well, so, and I do the same for him, I hope.
Yeah. So, and that's important too, to understand that we do have help. Yeah. We don't have to do everything. And that was another part that I wanted to talk about, is true partnership and being each other's biggest supporter. It's hard when, as we say in the church world, unevenly yoked, right?
Woo, you speaking.
And you don't understand it when you first get in it. And then later on, you be like,
yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people tend to hear that term equally yoked, and then they'll say something like, well, I mean, I go to church, we go to church, or we go to church together, and it's deeper than just church. It's deeper than just the religious thing. You know what I'm saying? Equally yoked, means that there's a mutual respect for everything around you. There's a mutual respect on how you deal with situations. I don't step on her toes when it comes to situations. She don't step on my toes. That type of yoke, to where when it's time for me to do things in my lane, and it's a respectable way of doing things, she'll stand and help out if it's a respectable way of doing it, and vice versa. That's part of being yoked. The way you raise the children. For instance, if I didn't want Cody to eat now laters, she wouldn't step on my toes and try to give him now laters while they out at the mall. And if she tried to do it, I would respect her thing. That's part of being yoked. Like, your mind is working together, but you're actually respecting each other in life around you, to where you can help make things much easier for both of you guys, for both couples. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think being yoked is. It's deeper than just being a Christian and I'm a Christian, or you a Muslim and I'm a Muslim. Just life, period. Just respecting what we do to make things easier for each other, mentally, physically, socially, in life, period. Is my definition of being equally yoked.
Absolutely. Good definition. Of course, is you have things that you have been gifted to do on earth, and you need that partner to help you be successful at whatever that gift is. For some is the big stage, some is not. However, the partnership, and we're gonna say this J word, there's no way that you can be successful in a marriage if you jealous of one another. Because we all have different levels of gifts and talents that can be seen or behind the scenes, whatever. Like whichever one TT might be stronger in than you, and you might be stronger in something that she's weak in. And it's supposed to blend together as the one.
Absolutely.
But if you stuck here and you don't want to move, you don't want to elevate, you don't want to go where the train is moving, we got a serious problem.
Yeah, I agree. And it's about building together as well. It was a rapper that was actually having an interview, and he, and I respect his opinion. I respect people's opinions. He said something to the nature of, if you're not financially doing right, then you shouldn't get married. If you're not financially doing right, and I disagree with that. I disagree with that because my thing is, if you waiting to get to a certain level financially and don't build with your partner to get to that level and build together, you might not ever never get married. God might make it the way you might not ever see that big $1 million bag or whatever. But you gotta be able to build with each other to get to that point. A lot of people live with each other and then they're waiting and they're waiting and waiting because they want their life to be a certain kind of way, but don't even realize that all these years going past, y'all are building together and don't even realize it. Y'all are, y'all getting each other stuff to eat. Y'all working things out mentally. Y'all talking about bills. Y'all doing. You guys are building together without even realizing it. But in the back of your mind, you're waiting for this certain financial thing before you can say, "Hey, I do." And I just believe, I just disagreed with the artist who actually said that. And I just believe that building together is super important, to get to that point where you need to be together.
Absolutely. I'll say that, well, I'll address this also. The topic of really being totally healed before you move on, right? And sometimes, the candy looks so good, and then when you unwrap it, it's nasty as hell, right? Because your taste buds have changed, right? And you don't give yourself enough chance to, I might have burnt my tongue, and you try to taste some food with a burnt tongue, see how it tastes.
Right.
And then when eventually heal, you are like, oh, this was my favorite food. And then your tongue is healed and the food is nasty as hell. But now you didn't claimed it as your favorite food. So I was like, dang, did I honestly say that I was healed before I decided to say I do? Mm-hmm. But then when you did, it's like, oh Lord, I wasn't healed. It's still stuff coming up that I didn't know that I wasn't healed from. So can you guys talk about really, I guess, recreating yourself after being hurt and disappointed?
I agree with you. And you know what? I'm gonna let Miss TT take this, and I'm gonna go after you because I know I done spoke on the last topic. So I want to hear what she got to say.
Okay, you gonna tag me in? Okay. So with that, I feel you're onto something, Sunshine. A lot of times growing up, I didn't know what a toxic relationship was. There wasn't a terminology we used back in the day, but I recognized them growing up as a child. There were so many dysfunctional, abusive relationships around me. People jumping from man to man, from woman to woman. And I didn't understand that because I watched TV. I grew up watching the Huxtables, the Brady Bunch, stuff like that. So those were the type of relationships I admired. Growing up, there were only two relationships, marriages that I witnessed that I knew was solid authentically as a child, and grew up when they were still, both parties were still alive, watching them, and even had the opportunity to tell them before my step grandfather passed away. My godmother's parents had a beautiful love. They had a beautiful love. And I grew up watching that as a kid. I was blessed to, as a grown woman, be able to honor them and give them their flowers and let them know they were the foundation of a blueprint that you could look at and say, you know what, if I was to ever get married and have a marriage, I would love to have something like that. You know, I watch people go, like I said, from relationships to relationships and be hurt and take baggage with them. Like you said, you know, some people I know, you know, I'm on to the next, you know, you would hear stupid shit like, well, the best way to get over a man is to be up under a new one. No, it ain't. The hell? Who told you that? Like, that shit ain't real. So, but to each his own, because what works for you won't work for me. And what works for me may not work for you. So I ain't here to judge people. However, I am concerned about people's hearts, right? We can, as I have on makeup, right? Like these glasses on, you know, our hair, whatever. But at the end of the day, Swifty knows what I look like without my makeup, without my hair done. That it's not a facade for him. It's what it is. It is who I am. And when you're in a relationship, you have to have that level of vulnerability, but you also have to have that moment of healing for yourself. You got to love yourself, be in love with who you are. And that, some people could be like, oh, that sounds textbook TT. It might sound textbook. It's not something I definitely read in a book. I've seen it, heard it, but I've lived it. I know what it's like to feel like you're not fulfilled and you're searching for love. I know people right now that are beautiful spirited people, beautiful people. This is men and women because it's a two-way street. And they're going from relationship, searching for something. Well, he don't make me happy, or she don't make me happy. No, it's not our job to make our spouse or significant other, or boo thing, baby daddy, baby mama happy. It's up to you to be finding out what makes you happy. I remember meeting someone and befriending someone who I thought was just the happiest person and, you know, had this certain life. And then they got married and I thought like, oh, they're a great couple. But they realized they didn't know each other. It made that song Tamia put out there, there's a stranger in my house, real as hell. And so it was just like, if you don't know yourself, how can I know you as a significant other? I don't know what, you know, it's kind of like Coming to America, that one scene that's iconic when Eddie said to that woman who he's going to marry, I want to know you. Like, what do you like? Whatever you like. You know, like, what kind of food do you like? Oh, I like whatever you like. He looking like, damn, I know what I like. See, he knew what he liked. He knew what he loved. She didn't know what she liked and what she loved, because either one, you're going to learn somebody, because there are people who profile people. Y'all better listen to this. This is a good one, y'all. There's people that study you and they learn you. And you think like, what, man? No, they know where you hang. They know who you be with, because they're looking for something. So some of y'all get that clickbait in a different fashion and you don't even know it. That's another story. But you got to know what you like. So when you do meet someone, you're going to look at the compatibility between the two of you, right? And also, we know we all have baggage. If you have lived this life and you don't have none, you are very rare, and I'm so happy for you. And I hope you never have to carry it. But if you're like some of us common folks, you ain't been hurt, you ain't done some hurting, you ain't had to bury some stuff, unpack some stuff, then you understand that in order to be in the next relationship, you got to have a transparent, honest conversation with that person when you're getting to know each other. Let me tell you about my past. It doesn't dictate who I am now or where I'm going, but I don't want anything to be dug up that would cause any type of issues that you're unaware of. So let me lay my cards on the table. My older son father taught me something, and I used to tell Swifty this because I learned it when I was young. Shoot straight from the hip. If you shoot straight from the hip, you can't come back and say nothing to nobody. I let you know what it is. Now, I ain't saying be out cold. hey, you knew what it was when you signed up. It's like, okay, no, I didn't. Or sometimes we do. And as women, we love, right? So we feel we gonna put our feelings on the back burner. It's on simmer. We gonna put the man's feelings on the front burner, on the side burner, in the oven, in the toast, in the microwave. We're gonna take care of all their emotions because we're nurturers by nature. Most of us, anyway. We're nurturers by nature, and so we think we can Mr. Potato Head a man. And men probably might think, I mean, who was it? E40? I want to be saved, right? Yeah. Some of y'all put capes on trying to save us. We gotta really just dig deep in us to know the hurt and the baggage before we jump into a relationship if you want it to last.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Healing is very important, Sunshine, because another thing that can happen is if you're not fully healed, you can go into that relationship and not know that you are pushing the one who's really for you away. It's got fears and building the walls, and you got all these self-consciousness, and you got all these things going on in your mind that's been haunting you, and you like the idea of wanting to do this, that, and the third, but you wouldn't even know that you're pushing a person away because you haven't fully healed to know yourself and what you want and what you don't want before you actually step in. So I think that is healing is very, very important to do before you step into a relationship with anybody, woman and man.
Another thing I wanted to talk about, especially with, I see a lot of younger people wanting to get married, and it's like, live your life. I'm not saying, there's an age to it, whatever, but do you, because marriage, of course, is, we know, a lot of compromising. If it's, you want to finish school, do it. You want to travel the world, do it. Because you might marry somebody who don't want to travel. Or just, then what you going to do? Decide I'm going to go around the world by myself, when your desire was to go with someone who will travel the world with you. There's the moment of, outside of being jackrabbits, understood. What else is there? What else do you got in common other than what comes natural to you? Where are we going? And a lot of times we let people lead us, and they don't even know and have an idea, clue where the hell they going. How you gonna lead us?
Yeah.
Now this is what is the name of my show? Real Conversations. Let's talk about it. How are you gonna lead somebody and you don't know where the hell you going? But I trust you. So we both gonna fall in this dish together. Like, wait, hold up, you going too fast. Wait, there's a hole right there. I got it. And then we end up in a hole. Didn't I tell you it was a hole right there?
Yeah.
But for us, we don't want to, well, I ain't gonna say all of us, because some of us will let you have it and then let you bleed out. Then some of us, we let you have it in our head, we just don't say it.
Yeah. And I think that's the worst.
It is.
I think it's the worst, and I'm gonna tell you why I think it's the worst. When we bottle up our emotions, we're gonna pop off at some point. If I can't have a transparent conversation, and it's tough, me and Swifty can say, okay, well, we supposed to be able to talk about everything. And we're like, okay, we do. That don't mean that the sting not gonna hurt when it comes. But we understand you can't shelf everything. Now, what we have, he taught me this, because sometimes I can be a little high-headed.
No, not you.
Yeah, sometimes. But he taught me that, because I'm one of that, let's handle it now. What's going on? He's more of, this isn't the time. I want to talk about it now. So I realized, and he had to learn, it's part of our love language. We had to learn love languages, and there's, things of that nature. But let's agree that we disagree at this moment and come back and reconnect later. because I could be honest. Sometimes all I'm doing is listening to double dutch. I'm ready. Oh, I don't know what he's saying. I don't care, but I got to get my point. And it's like, but I'm not hearing him. And that's being honest. You know
and,
what I'm saying?
and through experience, like it's very hard to have those type of conversations. And you want to get the last words, you want to make your point, you want to say this, say that. But when it's a situation that can potentially get heated, I can say through experience, the best thing to do is to wait it out, go your separate ways, cool off, and come back. That's the best way to do it. I don't care if you had something you wanted to say. It's not smart to say it when the energy is at a certain kind of level, because it can be conveyed wrong, it can be taken wrong. Anything can happen when that energy is up on 10 or 9 or 8. If even if you make it a good point, even if it was something that was right, the energy can change everything that was meant to be good. Because that's when that devil come in there, when that energy is high and you need to scramble everything up. Walk away, cool off, catch a breather, come back, and then talk when everything is more rational. Those are the best ways to, in my opinion, to hash things out in a relationship. But a lot of people just want to have that last word, and then the other person gonna have that last word, and the other person gonna have that last word, and then everything is gonna be scrambled up. Walk away, take a breather. It's been plenty times me and TT from the D and had conversations, and I wanted to hear something from her, and she just left. Left. I'm I didn't like it, or I might have just left. I might have just went over to the park, sat at the bench for a minute. 15 minutes later, call her. She answered the phone. Hello, you want something to eat?
I like to eat.
And she'll tell me what she want me to bring back. You know what I'm saying? Because we both had a chance to cool off. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about having the last word. When that energy is there, you got to let that energy die down. You got to be strong enough to be able to let that energy die down and just sacrifice that last word, because you can come back and that last word can be translated into a way of bringing peace, because it might be translated wrong with the energy up.
Yes, I agree.
We also know those relationships who are like dealing with addictions, right? And it's a touchy subject because, like, to each his own. But there are situations where the husband, wife, alcoholics, smokers, and you like, okay, I'm gonna continue to give grace, but eventually grace runs out, especially when it's something you didn't know. Um, there are people I know personally who the woman married someone, didn't know that the person was a smoker or a drinker, and that's two things that she don't like. So they didn't know until after they said I do that this person smoke and drink. Pet peeve of hers. And she like, well, damn it. What the hell am I gonna do now? Because now I'm married. There's no real reason, or I guess you would say, hey, I'm divorcing you because you're a smoker. I'm divorcing you because you smoke weed or you smoke cigarettes. That's not a real reason, right? But eventually, out of the respect of all things, when is the cutoff? What is the cutoff? Like, you tired of talking and they ain't listening.
I have to ask this question, Sunshine. So, are you saying that that person was able to hide their drinking, their smoking from their person all the way up to the point that they got married?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Had no clue, no idea.
Well,
They,
yeah,
they didn't do it around them.
Um,
that's deep.
that is pretty deep. That is pretty deep. That's to me, that's a whole nother layer of, I don't even know what word to put on that, but if that person, that man or woman that does that, that means you're living in a uncomfortable situation. Like that that I can imagine that being very, very uncomfortable to know that you can't be yourself in front of the person you're supposed to love. And you're struggling with being yourself to a person you're supposed to love. That right there, I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I just feel like that's a very, very uncomfortable way of living. And maybe there may be something about the relationship that needs to be reevaluated if you can't be yourself in front of the person that you're with. What is going on with her or him to where you can't be yourself? Why even move on if you're suffering in such a way? You want to be comfortable. You have to sometimes you have to stop and look at yourself and say, it's something about her or something about him to where I just can't be myself. I shouldn't carry on with this relationship. If you can't be yourself in a relationship, you shouldn't be in it. And if that person don't accept it, you have to be strong enough to realize that this didn't work. We agree that we disagree. You know, if I didn't like cigarette smoke and TT smoked, I'll just kindly ask her, could you just smoke outside? Because my love will outweigh her smoking. I wouldn't divorce her for it, but I would just hope that she will respect me enough to say, you know what, he doesn't like smoke, so I go outside when I want to smoke, or I smoke in my car. And when she comes back, we might joke about it and be like, oh, I ain't kissing you, your breath smell like cools or whatever,
Not cool.
like Vincent Hedges or something or whatever.
Vincent Hedges, you dating us now? Stop it.
More. Some say,
oh Lord, you took us to the gutter now.
Cigarettes with no filters, but anyway,
okay, come on.
So hopefully that the respect level still has to be there, even though I might in my mind say, dang, I wish I can get her to stop, or something will happen where she can just stop smoking cigarettes. But long as there's a respect level and where she can be herself, like he don't like it, but I smoke. He don't like me smoking, but hey, I smoke. I go outside though because I can respect him. You still being yourself, but that's an amicable way of dealing with it to where you can still be happy and I can still be happy, even though there's differences. But to be in a relationship to where you can't be yourself, that's not good, in my opinion.
And I'm gonna tap in and I'm gonna say, for those that have loved ones that have had addictions, it's hard because you love. Grace, honestly, it doesn't run out, because imagine how much grace God extends to us daily. And if the stuff we do and grace ran out, we'd be hitting the dirt earlier than necessary. But what can run out is your patience. What can catapult is your fear. Because what people, and I, we've talked about this plenty of times, both of us have family members that have dealt with addictions. You're killing yourself slowly. If I was a smoker, which I'm not, but if I was a smoker and I'm like, well, I smoke outside. I ain't smoking in my car because I wouldn't go in my car, but I smoke outside or whatever. Okay. Just to respect him. But if he approached me one day and told me, babe, listen, I vision growing old with you. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's what's up. But if you keep smoking the way you smoke, what if you end up developing lung cancer or something from you? It would make me think, because I'm like, I too want to be with you, and forever, we don't know what forever is, right? But as long as God says we can be here, it would make me probably think of it differently. I would assume. I don't know. But I don't think it's as easy as we say, you quit that or I'm going to leave. It's an illness. It's a sickness.
Yeah, and then, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was going to piggyback.
No, I was just saying, so it would be easier for us to walk away because we don't want to see you destroy yourself. And that's something I would say. I love you, and I'm going to be sad if I got to leave your ass. But let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not gonna be here and watch you kill yourself slowly every day. And then I'm gonna be sitting there mourning you later. You fight for you, and I'm gonna fight for you. But if you don't want to fight for you, I can't fight for you, and you gonna lay down. You gonna get heavier and heavier with the load that you carry. I can't do that. If you ain't willing to fight for you, because I'm willing to fight with you for you, then we now have to do what Swifty said. We're gonna have to come to an agreement that I can't live that way, watching you kill yourself. And I know we deal with different things. It's like, are you willing to get some assistance? Some people are like, I don't got it. And this one, it's a problem. I ain't got no problem. Okay, none of us know we got a problem. We think we don't have one. It's not it's not very often we'll admit it, but you do have some people to say, I know, and I want to quit. That's all we need.
Yeah. And I believe the give and take factor can spill into the thing of, if you love your spouse, you trust your spouse's judgment, you know your spouse's heart, you know that they're coming from a genuine place, you don't want nothing to happen to your spouse, vice versa. If you know that you're doing something that can cause harm to you, and the worry in your spouse's voice is coming through, marriage is give and take. You have to sit back and say, you know what? Well, I love my spouse enough to where I'm willing to sacrifice giving that up, because she's affected by it. That's just part of marriage. You're supposed to love your spouse.
Or he. It ain't just
vice versa. Yeah, he or she. She's affected by this, and part of being in the marriage is humbling yourself to realize that you don't want to do anything to affect her spirit or feelings, especially if you're doing something that you slowly killing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Take the time out to pretty much evaluate. Just be open enough to evaluate the conversation enough to say, you know what, let me consider, because she's coming from a place of care, and then deep down inside this is real. You got to be humble enough to say, well, yeah, I am slowly killing myself now. You know what I'm saying?
I think too, and I get it. I think a lot of people, when it comes to certain things, whatever that addiction is, I think sometimes they think nothing can happen to them. And the bad thing is you do have these conversations, and it's like, yeah, I don't have no problem. You the one with the problem. Right. Oh, okay. And the more you have these conversations, or you don't have a conversation, you just let it be, and it keeps getting worse and worse on the daily basis. And you ask about it, and they lie to you, and you like, you do know I was supposed to be a detective in my other life, right? Like, I'm smart. I'm real smart. So I can read between the lines. I can hear it in your voice. I know all of this stuff, right? So the thing is, you like, well, the more you keep doing this, the less you become numb. Because now what you doing, you think is not affecting the other person. It is. Because now that person can't, go that route with you, because now you on a whole nother level. Everything that person, especially alcohol, they become argumentative, petty. Oh my God, about the littlest stuff. The sky's blue. No, it's not. It's red. Huh? What? So you either go with the flow or be quiet.
And it's not healthy. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. No.
And so it's like, So these people, they, well, have y'all gone to counseling? Haven't? Well, the person don't talk. If they don't talk to the spouse, they ain't gonna talk to nobody else. Don't even think they got a problem. So how are they gonna talk to someone else? And so we talked about the true partnership being the biggest supporter. And sometimes we do have these things that come up as humans. I mean, we have things, and everybody deals with things differently. We talked about in one conversation, we talked about suicide. We talked about how people hash it out. Some people are workaholics, which is a problem too. So some people, they shut down. Some people, you just gotta figure these things out. And sometimes in these marriages and these different conversations, we don't ever really talk about it. We skate over it, but ain't nobody talking about it. Especially stuff like we knew was happening in our families. And then there was that whole thing, whatever happens in your house, stay in your house. Well, damn it, that was a whole lie. Lord have mercy. Because if y'all would have opened up your mouth and talked, maybe half of us wouldn't be as as we are. You fill in the blank.
I think Sunshine with the
was you gonna say my real name? It sounded like you was about to say it.
I was.
Oh Jesus, she did. Oh Lord,
I'm not. So I think that to kind of go back to what you were saying about in the relationship, and okay, it takes two to tango. They don't want to talk to nobody. They don't talk to their spouse. They're not communicative. First of all, communication is the biggest key, I think, that goes on the key ring of a marriage or a relationship. Any relationship you have in this life, you got to have communication. Now, people shut down, because somewhere along the lines, they've been hurt. They've felt unheard, unrespected, and they just like, I ain't got time for that. Because sometimes we pass judgment onto the next person from what happened to us, going back to what you said about the baggage piece earlier. We drag it with us. Well, I ain't gonna say that because last time, or in my former, I'm not your former, I'm not your last time, I'm your right now. And if we not careful, you gonna have another not right now, right? Because it's not fair to be in a relationship but you single. And when I say that, I'm in this thing, but we're coexisting. If I wanted a roommate, I get one that I had no connection with, and all we're doing is paying these bills and making sure we coexist. But when you're in a union and hopefully a covenant, what you said in the beginning, it was making me feel like, damn, I can't imagine with having a whole nother side of him on the level of irky things, like, oh, you smoke, like, okay, that we could talk about. Like he said, I'd be like, okay, bro, take that outside. I don't smoke. I don't want that around me. And now, if he can't respect that, that's a battle, right? The alcoholic or the drinking, excessive drinking, it's a fear factor for me because family members have been alcoholics. So I see and I've seen and I've had loved ones die because cirrhosis of the liver and all these things. Oh, I'm good. And like you said, it ain't me. You got the problem. Okay, you're right. I can't be a witness of this. So if that's what you choose to do, understand that I don't choose to stay. You're choosing that vice, that addiction over us. And some people will be like, okay, adios, right? And that would make me think you didn't ever love me like that anyway. Because sometimes I think we get love confused with convenience. I think we get love mixed up with infatuation. I think we also confuse love with possession. Some people want to possess you. You're a thing to them. I control this situation here, and you're gonna do as I say when I say. However, and a lot of times I think what I find, and this is more for us as women. I hate to say this, but sometimes we stay because word I'm looking for the comfort and the what's the word, Swift? The comfort and the, I'm sorry, what is it?
Convenience?
No, not convenience. We had talked about this before. Safety. It's kind of like, okay, well, they're taking care of everything, so I'm just gonna deal with it.
Oh.
And they know it, so why I gotta change? Where you gonna go? And then sometimes, who wants me? And what? How about you want yourself? We let ourselves go. You can kind of tell when people are in them relationships and they used to be a certain way, and all of a sudden they just letting themselves go. And you're like, what's going on with you? I'm good, working hard, and okay. But it's kind of like you see the beat down if you know them, if you love on someone, you can see it through the smiles we put on every day, which is the mask to the face. We can see it when you care. You know, even through behind that smile, what's going on? You good? Because your spirit detects it, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I just think, in marriage, you got to be willing to be able to compromise and stay open minded at all times when it comes to husband and wife. You're talking about spending 100 years with each other
100.
or more.
He be watching Twilight Girl.
1,000 years. Oh, anyway, but
Right.
1,000 years. Fuck it. F it. Y'all
What?
gonna spend 1,000 years together. You know what I'm saying? Once they bite you on the neck and you start turning pale, I mean, it's like, no, I mean,
She had a choice. Her crazy girl wanted to be a vampire.
He wanted to be a Collins. So no, okay, go ahead.
Like, girl, you better get with the wolves. You better go somewhere. Her crazy girl. That baby almost killed her.
But anyway,
yeah, I'm a Twilight fan. I sure am.
Me too.
Yeah,
I wish they had continued. Dang on it. Now you got me upset talking about Twilight.
Yeah, you talking about the rest of your life together. You know what I'm saying? The rest of your life together, you wanna be healthy, you wanna be prosperous in everything you do, especially health. And if you're talking about changing, the person's gonna go through changes mentally, y'all gonna learn together. Person is gonna learn some things, see some things, experiences is gonna make people change. Not always for the bad, but just change. We growing together. Marriage is about growing together. So stay open-minded. Be willing to compromise and stay open-minded, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as a person slowly killing themselves. Especially. You know what I'm saying? Stay open-minded and compromise with everything if you can, but especially on that.
This is something else, and I'm glad you brought up health, right? So there was this, now I'm talking about myself. So previously, I was married before, and I said I did 16 years, and I kind of knew something wasn't right, or we was in trouble the second year of our marriage. But I fought as much as I could, and I know I did some things that was not good at all, which caused other issues. But when it came down to health, now here we are, young in our mid-20s. My husband at the time, all of a sudden, broke down. And I'm going to go here because I'm going to go here. When you were used to getting it in all the freaking time, and you decided, hey, this is the one for me, to what, it don't work. What you mean it don't work? Well, I got health issues, this and that. My body's shutting down. Like, I'm 20 something. Do you know what I could be doing right now? And you talking about it don't work. See, some of this stuff they don't tell us about. And you be like, wait, so y'all sleeping in separate rooms? That part. Y'all ain't nothing intimate. Ain't what we here for? Not that that's the, but you young. You have your whole life dreamed and plans. This right here wasn't a part of the plan that I was we supposed to been working on a baby. How are we gonna work on a baby? How the baby gonna get here if you broke? So unfortunately, some people choose the bad road. So Camila, not Sunshine, Camila chose the bad road and caused some other issues. That eventually, that health scare changed, but now I got a broke man because I chose sex over his health issues. Now I told you this show was gonna keep it real, right? You got to, because everybody ain't trying to be holier than thou. I was not that cat at all. So,
well, first of all, let me say this. Okay. You know now, you're in your second marriage, right? You remember Elizabeth Taylor?
mm-hmm.
She was married several thousand times.
Several thousands. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like the Twilight thing again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think we get married for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we tend to choose whether we guide, oh, he looks fine, girl. Oh, she fine, she fine, whatever. Or he got money, or she doing well, or whatever. She come from this family, he come from that family, all these things. We don't always, and we're not holier than thou either. You know what I'm saying? We're not. We like to have fun. We enjoy life. We do love God, of course. But we prayed on that day. We lived together before we got married. And just because, and we had our child before we were married. I always tell people we did our shit backwards. So for real. And we went through the storms of life before we got married, aired it out. You know what I'm saying? Live your life, as you said. I think you said this earlier. Before you jump off to get married, know what you want. Know what's out there. There's a million women, a million men. Right? You could be with anybody. In today's time, it's so easy to lay down with somebody that ain't fun. But there's no emotional attachment to it. Right? There's what they call soul ties and things of that nature. But on a level of a intimate connection. Because at the end of the day, when it don't work, you can stimulate this. We talk about this a lot. Me and Swifty, we've had this conversation so many times. For me, what's so sexy is you being able to stimulate my mind. I love to talk. I love to dream. I love to just be intimately, like, we really get conversations in. When we used to get to know each other and we spent a lot of time together before we got in a relationship, we would literally sit up for hours and talk. And there's a good friend who showed me unconditional love, what it looked like from a married perspective when I was a kid. She was my friend's older sister. I won't put her name out there because one day I hope to have her on the show. And then I don't want to just necessarily put her out there, even though it's not a secret. But I learned this from her. Her husband, she was very pretty. Her husband was handsome. And he worked at an establishment. And one day he accidentally got set on fire. Burnt his body up to the point where he was wheelchair bound. Had surgeries after surgeries, whatever, all that. I remember spending the night over their house one time. And, kids be nosy, right? You think we ain't listening, but we listening. So anyway, I remember she was sitting on her knees between his legs talking with him. And he was telling her his hands was bandaged up, his face was bandaged up. It was bad. It was really bad. I remember him telling her he loved her and he wanted her to be happy. And she was like, I love you too. And I am happy. He said, I will never probably walk again. He said, I will never look the same. You are young. You're beautiful. I want you to live a happy life. I want you to have the world. I can't give that to you. I want you to find someone that will make you happy, that you could be with and have. They had a son. And then he said to have children and all that, right? And she said, I love you. I'm not going anywhere. You're my husband. And until death do us part, I'm not leaving your side. They stayed married till he died. They went on to have another child, right? And that taught me, because the average person would have been like, shit, I'm out. Like, what? because of the way we don't have anything to look at, to gauge at and say, you know what, that's love. We have plenty of shit we confuse with it though. Oh, look at them, they love each other because they smiling and cheesing and hee and probably tearing the club up when they get to the crib. Can't stand each other. But they put the facade on. It's not so much what we do for social media, because what are we doing right now? We're talking, we're sharing, we're transparent. Because I ain't got time to blow smoke up people's asses, right? For what? But it's on the level of, you're going to pick what you want. You're going to do what you want. You're going to be with who you want. I could tell you all day that, he ain't, no, she ain't. You got to decide. But you said it yourself. Your last marriage. You said 2 years in, I knew it was a problem. I know what you mean. You see the writing on the wall, but because of who we are, we're like, we can fix it. We can make it better. We want to, or I invested too much. Or this one you hear, I ain't starting over. I'm used to this person. I'm familiar with this person. It's not enough to make you stay in a union. And then the other part to this, and I know we got to wrap it up because I know I got an 8:30. I'm sorry, y'all. But Swifty, is you moving? Oh, okay. You look frozen. Okay, sorry. So it looks like people jump into these relationships, Sunshine, and there's nobody to consult. We don't ask God, like, is she the one? Is he the one? We ask our homie, girl, what you think about him? Dude, what's up? What you, I mean, you know what I'm saying? We only know what we see. We see just as much as you see. But they ain't the ones that's got to live with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You are, I am, we are. Mm-hmm. And so when you talk about the true partnership and the biggest supporters, yeah, you got to be able to come home to him or her. You got to be able to pray together, pray for each other. You know what I'm saying? Support one another and have your individuality. You be you and let them be them, and y'all be who y'all gonna be together. That's my opinion. That's my closing argument. I'm resting on that.
So before we have to rush off, because I have church announcements to do. What is a balanced life for you guys?
Balanced life. Respect. Communication. Compromise. Stay open-minded. Respect, communication, compromise, stay open-minded. And
did you just repeat yourself again?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's that Twilight stuff again. Mm-hmm.
Years.
1,000 years, right? That's gonna be the running joke forever. 1,000 years. Oh my goodness. TT, did you say that?
What he said.
What he said. Right. For me, a balanced life for me is being able to separate my work life, my family life, my individualness. I make time for my husband. I make time for my children. I make time for my family members. I make time for my friends. And I've learned to make time for me. That's a balanced life. I enjoy life. Life is short. We know this.
We're going to have to talk about that part. We're going to have to talk about that me part a little bit.
Oh, here we go again.
Go ahead, baby.
But no, I know. I'm working on me. He gets on my case. Sometimes he'll make me a little appointment. Like, you need some me time. We gonna leave the crib, or you want to go somewhere, or whatever. So, and I appreciate that about him. I'm starting to do the same for him. I like how that sun hit your face, man. Yeah.
Oh Lord, listen here. I am here. I am on here. Hello, I am here. Thank you very much. We're not about to do that. No, y'all work on y'all 1,000 years on your own time.
She is silly.
Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, so the it out, being able to make time as you said, we're all busy.
Yeah.
Sunshine, you do a lot. And so you understand you got to try to balance it out. But I will say this for people that don't want that, they'll hide in all the other things so they don't have to balance out that relationship. So they find joy in all the other things. But my haven is when I come home. That's my peace.
Yep.
And you got to keep that right. You know what I'm saying? The outside world will give you hell. I can't have hell in my home.
Absolutely. One more topic. We are the village. What does that statement mean to you?
That means that family, friends, neighbors, everybody have a mutual respect that spills on over to building the character of a child, or helping out to make a better community or a better place. Um, we stayed the second house off the corner. The neighbors on the far end of the block would tell if they see me do something. You know what I'm saying? I knew everybody's name on my block. Every family household, I knew the name of every family household. They all had a mutual respect for each other, and this helped build character in the kids, and it just was willing to help out if you needed anything on the block, whatever it was. Everybody just came together with a mutual respect to help their community, whether it was the children, whether it was a household, the car needed to be fixed, whatever the case may be. Everybody just came together as one. Yeah.
For me, we are the village. To me, in today's time, it means me and Swift are considered OGs, right? We have younger couples that look up to us. We're always sowing seeds of knowledge and love and things like that to other people, pouring into other people, especially married people. We, just really supporting one another, right? We're part of this community, as Swifty said. It's different in today's time, but taking care of what we need emotionally, mentally, spiritually, however we best can, reaching out, supporting, loving on one another. That's the village that I love and I come from, type of deal.
So. That was one of the having a balanced life and having the village is two of the biggest things that I promote here. Biggest day of supporting one another, because the village is what helped me. The village is what continues to help me be who I am with the church, my community, my family, my friends, my coworkers, everybody that has something to do with who I am. And we have to go back to that because the village cared.
The village cared.
And so when he said everybody on the block knew each other, when, it was hard times for your house, somebody would come, hey, can I get a cup of washing powder until we get paid, or whatever the case may be? Can I get your last cup of milk or Kool-Aid, sugar or something? And then we all would pile up in the car. If your car was down, the kids got to school, we all walked to school together. When we went shopping, we got your kids stuff too. So nobody felt left out.
That's right.
And, we always have to go back to taking care of our elders, our widows, male and female. We got to go back to that, because if we don't, anything can come knocking at your door. And if you're not open and willing to help anyone else, why would you think somebody be open and willing to help you? I might be young, but I know a little bit something, just
wisdom.
Just a little bit. So I got some church announcements to do, then I'm gonna let y'all go. And of course, we're gonna have to do this again, maybe in person. Hang out with my OGs, as they say.
I'm definitely with it. This was a great conversation, and I really, really appreciate you for having us.
Yes.
I love the show. The personality that you spilled through here is just great.
Thank y'all.
Please have us to come back again, please.
For sure. I mean, TT, she already know what it is. I mean, I seen her in action, so she called. I'm running. Period. That's done. You are the bonus, sir. You are the bonus with the 1,000 years. So, our church announcements for today. Please, children, take in consideration and govern yourself accordingly. So, last October, I was able to put out my first single book called The Blueprint God's Design. That is the code on Amazon. You can put my name in and it will come up, or the title of the book, and it will come up. God basically like, look, you going left field and I need you to get back on track. So go back to the blueprint. You can't go wrong if you follow the design, you know? Just like when you open a puzzle book or a puzzle and you see the picture on the front, you know what it's supposed to look like. And you got to put the puzzles together. It might take you a minute, but eventually when it's done, that picture is beautiful. It better have every piece in it. I promise you it's going to be a problem. If you want to continue to make sure this show continue to go, you know, my goal is to get to TV. I'm trying to be better than Ellen DeGeneres. So, you know, we got bills to pay. So if you want to donate, yes, I said we got bills to pay. The DTE at this address, we need to pay it because they will come and turn my lights out. You can cash at me at Sunshine Camila, Kamilah. How you spell my real name? Hey, Alita Cotton. Oh my God, I'm addicted to her teas. I need to get some. Her business is AC's Teas. She is on Facebook, AYECEE. I promise you, you will be addicted to. She has some of the best ginger and turmeric tea ever. She didn't put some crack in it or something. She done did something because I promise you, I was over here itching like I need my tea.
It tastes like Jesus made it himself.
It's so good. It's so good.
Phone number 313-380-0321. She is happy to serve you and she does it well. The Waffle Cafe Detroit with my friend Larry Boog Phillips. The best waffles. Oh my God. He got something there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even travel to the west side and I go almost every weekend just to get some waffles.
Yeah.
You know you got something if you got to travel to the west. I mean, oh, my bad. I forgot. If you want to travel to the west side, because you know I'm an east sider. So anyway, Waffle Cafe Detroit, Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 18685 Livernois, Detroit. Phone number 313-739-6308. This conversation has been sponsored by Blacktop Streetball Association. My friend, main event, Wally Dixon, you know his name from And One, is my big brother. I love him. He's constantly putting people on to come to this show. Just did it today. And their tour is starting the first weekend in August. So go to their website, btsba.com, to see when they're coming to your city. You heard it first here. Alpha and Omega Naturals, alphaandomeganaturals.com. Oh, I didn't put 2 A's in there. Lord, I need to fix that. I'm not saying this because I know her. Her product has gotten my hair to grow, and I got my natural curls. Okay. My mom hair completely fell out, bald headed like him. My mama hair is growing back. You heard me. That's because of Alpha.
Y'all.
Got an extra bottle over there.
If you grow some hair, I'm not going there. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not.
Gotta give the D a lineup in my life. I gotta give her one of my lineups.
Lord. Right. I'm not.
I can't.
So Larry also has an event space, 23120 Coolidge Highway in Oak Park. Phone number 313-469-2943. Why am I doing this? Well, I said about the village, I promote people, Black businesses, okay? People who down with me, I'm down with you. And I mess with you even if you don't mess with me. Ooh, come on now. These people have really, really supported me. Larry Phillips, and I will support him forever. He was the first one and actually planted the seed for me to do podcasting. So why wouldn't I? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So again, go check out Waffle Cafe website, wafflecafedetroit.com. Go support this man, his family. It's wonderful. I mean, he has an awesome menu. It's not expensive. You can go get the ice cream. You get all flavors of waffles. You got the wraps. I mean, I can go on and on because I done spent some money there, okay? All for some waffles. So, anywho, I love y'all. Do y'all got some last words with y'all 1,000-year self? What y'all got to say?
For me, I just want to thank you, Sunshine, for having Swifty and I on this evening to talk about love and marriage and the importance and the tools, the very transparent conversation. I want to just encourage all those people that are married or in serious relationships getting ready to take it to the next level to just pray a lot. Pray together, but pray for each other. Keep what you don't know to yourself and ask the one who gives you life every day. We can't always give you the answer. It's okay to seek, opinions because we all have one. But when you really, really want to know and you really, really are concerned for your union, your covenant, you would ask God and consult him first. He'll tell you. And when he tells you, you may not always want to hear what he says. But he didn't design marriage for it to fail. But he also didn't design marriage for you to pick and choose like shoes. So
that's what said.
I don't like shoes anyway.
She pretty much covered it all with that the last word. Only thing I'm gonna say instead of saying thank you again, I appreciate you. God gave you a gift called life, and what you do with it is your gift back to God. Stay at peace.
Y'all got the offering plate because that was
okay.
Praise the Lord. So tonight again, as we've been keeping it real tonight, I had an awesome time with this wonderful couple. Very soon, hopefully soon, that we'll be able to break bread together, laugh like we did in person. And of course, I will have you guys on the show again. We are all so busy, but we're not busy enough to say that, hey, I love you, I care about you, I'm concerned for you, and whatever you do, I'm there for you. You already know, TT, I'm all day, every day, I'm sharing.
I know you do. Thank you.
You are the bomb. And if they don't understand it, too bad.
Thank you.
I know. So again, Swifty, it was nice meeting you. You take care of my girl. I know you will. Yeah. Because you were doing it before I was in the picture. So anyway, and blessings to you guys in y'all 1,000 years. Hopefully I'll be in heaven because that is a woo.
That's my life part 2 ready when I get home, baby. We about to go ahead and pop that boy.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait. My virgin ears, Lord. What did you just do? Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go so y'all get.
I ain't messing with that man, girl. I gotta go to this next meeting. I ain't never.
Oh Jesus! Thank
you.
Later.
We'll talk about it later. Thank you so much. We had a great time. Until next time.
I will see you guys on next Tuesday, and Thursday, 7 p.m. right here. Again, tell somebody about this wonderful show. We're trying to get to TV. So again, tonight I had the best time in a long time. So again, I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Peace.
Thank you. Peace.